This one's wife. Iron Will says no. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Harry, as you know, was in the United Kingdom last week. He managed to pop in and see Pa. We don't know what was discussed. He told people at an Invictus event that his father was great. People have sought to interpret the look on his face as he exited, trying to read something into that as to whether he was made to become a member of the Pink Bottom Brigade, whether he got a dressing down, or whether he got something that he wanted. I think you're clutching at straws if you're looking to interpret that just from his photograph in the motor vehicle as he exited, but it's not going to stop people from speculating. But what we do know, and there's no speculation in relation to this, is that he didn't see his brother Prince William, because William is maintaining a strict no-contact regime in relation to this one's wife, which includes his brother Harry, driven by the necessity of not fueling this one's wife and allowing her abusive behaviours to impact upon the Waleses, and also recognising the fact that it is being done to demonstrate the disapproval of William in relation to the behaviour of his sister-in-law and his brother vis-a-vis his wife. As I've explained to you before, William's a normal, which means that he does have emotional empathy and considerable amounts of it in relation to those within his circle of empathy, which will naturally include his wife, Catherine. And the behaviour of Harry and this one's wife will have angered William, whereby they've told lies, engaged in insinuations, have thrown shit around. You only had to see the barely contained anger following the Oprah interview where William said, "We're very much not a racist family." And the attacks that have taken place with regard to his wife have undoubtedly angered him further, resulting in him forming the firm conclusion, I am not going to bother with those two ever again. Indeed, as Charlotte Griffiths reports, Prince William has doubled down on his resolve to cut Prince Harry out of his life in the wake of his brother's Clarence House rapprochement with the King. It's been exactly a year since the Sussexes launched Operation Bring Harry Back In From the Cold, and while the Duke's 12-month strategy has come to fruition with his father, he is no closer to contact with his brother. Indeed, Harry's success in the UK last week, I think that's putting it rather high, means the future king is burning with a renewed determination to rid the monarchy of the Sussexes for good. William is back at the point where if you mention Prince Harry in his presence, he would throw you out of the room, one well-placed insider admitted. He's doubling down. Now, if that is accurate with regard to the way that William feels about his brother, how does that sit with him being someone who has emotional empathy? Why would he react in such a way to suggest throwing somebody out of the room just because they happen to have mentioned Prince Harry, his brother? Well, the fact is that you can be removed from the circle of empathy. And as a consequence of Harry and this one's wife's behaviour, they have been removed. So that any emotional empathy that he once had, and we know that he certainly had it in relation to his brother, they used to have a good relationship together, that has been reduced. And as a consequence of the behaviour of this one's wife, the behaviour of Harry, and his emotional empathy for his wife, the result is Harry and this one's wife are removed from the circle of empathy, meaning you mention his name, it infuriates William, and quite understandably so. This all comes as Tina Brown, the royal biographer, states that King Charles is currently irritated more with Prince William than with Prince Harry. Apparently, her claim is that tensions are brewing between the king and his heir over William's workload, which pales in comparison with his cancer-stricken father and has been punctuated by a multitude of holidays in recent months. Not that you would guess it by William and Catherine's 4-day blitz of engagements last week, coinciding with Harry's visit. It then goes on to describe a number of the things that they attended to. Harry's breathless schedule during his week-long presence in the UK, followed by a trip to Kyiv, provided some healthy competition for William. Charles may well have welcomed having Harry nipping at his brother's heels, for it could prompt the Prince and Princess of Wales to up their game by carrying out more of those small-scale events we saw last week, the type that they would prefer not to do, but which are essential to the public's perception of the monarchy. Without the future King and Queen doing the rounds, it falls to Charles to pick up most of the slack, and it has been noted that despite his battle with cancer, he carried out official engagements on 175 days during the past 12 months. Over the same period, Prince William clocked up 68 fewer engagements. Harry's rapprochement strategy isn't over yet. Next on the Duke's wish list is some kind of public acknowledgement from the King. A source says Harry would one day like his father to encourage the nation to accept him back again. It's what the late Queen did towards the end of her life when she asked the public to accept Camilla as Queen Consort. If Charles could do something along those lines, Harry would have some hope of not being completely exiled for good when William becomes king. In other words, what Harry's attempting to do with this strategy is to persuade his father to say to the nation, please accept Harry back, which then puts William in a difficult position. If the nation says we accept Harry back, and William thinks, well, I don't want to, because I don't regard him as deserving of the nation's love and affection, and he's certainly not deserving of mine, why should I accept him back? That puts William in a difficult position, potentially, does it not? Of course, when the Queen did it for Camilla, a considerable period of time had passed, and it's also noteworthy that part of the reason why Camilla was accepted was that she got her head down and she worked. She didn't spend her time whinging, playing the victim, and throwing brickbats and shit at the royal family. Compare that to the way that Harry and this one's wife have behaved. I don't think that William's got anything to be concerned about, because I don't think the nation, even if Charles were to ask them, will accept Harry, and certainly not this one's wife back. Harry's burnt so many bridges, and so many people have said he's made his bed and he has to lie in it, that this rather transparent attempt at getting the nation and Charles back on side in order to pressure William into acceptance isn't going to work. William is exhibiting an iron will. He is not going to let go of the fact that Harry and this one's wife's behaviour towards the institution of the royal family, towards his grandmother and grandfather, was reprehensible. And even if none of that had happened, the way that they have conducted themselves in relation to his wife is unforgivable in his eyes. He's not going to be taken in by the soft soap manipulations of this one's wife. He's not even going to allow the manipulations of his brother to emotionally blackmail him. The way that they've conducted themselves means that they're on the out, and undoubtedly, when he becomes king, they'll find their exile all the more emphasised. William will exhibit that iron will, and the attempts of Harry to cause his father to place pressure upon William, and these recent attempts to try and suggest that there's some kind of competition taking place with regard to the number of engagements is disingenuous, and William is not going to fall for it. It's clear that they're trying to get back in, and that door remains shut so far as William is concerned. He says no. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.